Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a fabulous one. I know it's kind of early. I'm going to wait just a second for some people to see the notification before I start talking. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to get started really quickly. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was planting seeds. And if you are wondering what I mean by planting seeds, that means having conversations and planting the seed of having the idea of joining Cincy in their mind. And so when I say planting seeds, it can be something as simple as asking your host to keep the party as her own, or just having a normal join conversation. And the reason why I call it planting seeds is because we've talked about this before, about how very rarely do people join your business the first time that you ask. And the same thing when you're planting in a garden. When you plant the seed, you're not expecting it to just grow and flourish overnight. That's not how it's going to work. You have to nurture it, you have to water it, you have to do all that. It's the same thing with your Cincy business. You have to plant the seed, and you need to take care of that seed, meaning building a relationship with those people. That doesn't mean bugging them or just talking to them about joining. You need to build a relationship with them, figure out, you guys know how to build a relationship. So anyway, the harvest will come when you have continued to plant seeds throughout the year. So you cannot just expect a $49 join special to come around and you to sponsor 5 people if you haven't had conversations year round. That's not how I have found success. That's not how many of us have gotten people to join their team. It's because we've worked really hard and we've been consistent in our prospecting. So that's what I mean by planting seeds. You cannot just ask someone to join one time, they join, and you're done. You need to foster those relationships throughout the year. Another thing that I wanted to talk about this morning is overcoming objections, because a lot of you guys, and I know I've heard them, everybody has heard objections to joining the business. And so what's really important about hearing those no's and hearing those objections or those reasons why people don't want to join is finding a way to respond to that in a positive manner. Because if you just let them respond to you and say they don't want to join for blah, 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 and you just let it go, well, chances are that reason that they didn't want to join isn't just going to go away. So you've got to find a way to overcome those objections through different conversations. So the biggest thing when you hear someone give you a reason why they don't want to join, one thing that I found is to follow up with them or respond to that with positivity. So you cannot, or I'm not going to say you can't, but it's not best practice to just say, oh, you're wrong, or this is why you shouldn't feel that way, because people get defensive. You don't want to cause an argument, and I'm not saying somebody would fight with you about it, but you don't want to just invalidate the way that they feel, because you don't like to be invalidated if you're talking to your significant other, your husband, or your friend, and they tell you that the way you feel isn't right or whatever. So one strategy that you can use to overcome objection is the feel, felt, found method. Feel, felt, found. And what I mean by that is you empathize with them. So you say, I understand that you feel that way. I felt that way too. Or you can say, I know other people that have felt that way, because you want to be honest. You don't want to empathize with them if you don't understand or you didn't feel that. And then you turn it in a positive light and say, I have found blah, blah, blah. So I can give you an example. So feel, felt, found. The most important is to tell them that you understand that they feel that way, that you or someone you know have felt that way, and then what you have found in that. So I'm going to talk about a few objections that people often hear. Number one is, I don't know anyone. Okay? I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard, I don't know anyone. So what you can say is, I understand that you feel that way. I honestly felt that way when I first started because I really didn't have a big circle, because I was coming from a bad relationship that had kind of isolated me from a lot of people. So I understand that you feel that way, I felt that way too. What I have found is that Scentsy has given me an outlet in order to meet new people. I have joined groups. I have met people through my Scentsy business. I have met people out in the community by doing events and fundraisers. And as your sponsor, it is my job to help you figure out ways to meet new people. That's a completely valid reason, blah, blah, blah. Or if they're saying that they don't know a lot of people because they just moved to a new area, you can tell them, oh, I understand that you feel that way. If you've never moved to a new area, don't say that you felt that way too, because that's a lie. You can use someone else as an example, such as Alyssa Miller on our team moved with her husband from Georgia to Colorado and knew no one. So you can use that as an example and tell them ways that Alyssa has grown her business even though she doesn't know anyone. And you can use your husband's work. You can use all different types of things. So you can figure out ways to validate that reason and come up with ways to help them solve that problem. And that's one of the biggest things with overcoming objections, is you want to solve their problem. Okay. Same thing with who you're talking to about who you want to sponsor and who you're planting seeds with. You want to figure out a way to solve their problem. Not everybody's problem is income. Some people's problem may be that they don't have any friends and they want friends, or they have a job on a cancer floor like Kristen Ingalls. She didn't originally join Scentsy because she wanted the money. She joined because she wanted an outlet from her job that made her really sad, and Scentsy made her happy. Okay. Another objection that I hear is, I know a lot of Scentsy consultants in my area. I hear that a lot because I've not grown up, but I've lived in this area for about 10 years, and a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook and that see my journey have a lot of the same friends, and we have recruited a lot of the same people. So when people say that to me, I 100% understand that. And so I follow that up with, I understand how you feel. I sort of felt that way too. But what I found is that a lot of the people that say that they sell Scentsy, number one, don't really work their business. And number two, the way Facebook is set up, if you're buying Scentsy products, or you're talking to someone about Scentsy or fragrance or anything like that, then your algorithm is only showing you people that like those same things. So I bet not as many people that you think actually sell Scentsy. Or if they can name a bunch of people, you can say, well, you'd be surprised how many people would come out and support you, or how many people would love you to be their Scentsy consultant because they value you and they know that you're going to be authentic. If they know a lot of people. Another thing that you could follow that up with what you found, is that I have found that I love that there's other Scentsy consultants in my area, because we can brainstorm with each other, we can meet up, we can do events together, we have formed relationships. And that's a big part of Scentsy, is people want to feel a part of something and they don't want to feel like they're competing. And that's something that you can really tell people that say that they know too many people that sell, is that that's the great part. We're not competitive. We all help each other. And I don't know anybody in this town that is competitive and doesn't share. All of my friends and the people that I know that sell Scentsy are very nice girls, and we all want each other to succeed without being competitive. Another objection is, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. So you can say, I understand that you feel that way. I sort of felt that way too. But what I found is that people feel like salespeople are real grimy and dishonest. And you can say, you aren't that way. I don't think that people are going to see you as slimy or dishonest or salesy. I think people are really going to want to support you, especially if you just share the product that you like and that you're using. So you don't have to necessarily call yourself a salesperson. You can be a shares person, and you're just sharing the opportunity and sharing the products that you use. So feel, felt, found. Remember that. Another objection that I've heard is I'm too busy. I love this one because I'm really able to greatly empathize with it because I am very busy. So you can say, I understand that you feel that way. I felt that way too. But what I found is that because I'm busy, number one, I know how to get things done and I know how to prioritize. And because I'm busy, I'm constantly interacting with people. So I have lots of opportunities to present Scentsy and this business and all that to the people that I come into contact with. Also, when you're busy, you know how to get things done. You are a multitasker. You can work in 15 minutes a day that you have on your lunch break while you're eating and scrolling Facebook. You can be messaging customers or posting on Facebook or following up or whatever. So busy is a great one because I love it. Scentsy is so on the go and it's perfect for people that are busy. And I 100% believe that because the busiest people are the ones that have found the most success because they get stuff done and they have a lot of contacts and they are motivated. I can say 100% that my business straight up struggles during the summer until I came up with a system that works for me because I wasn't busy and I would find excuses to lay around the house and not do anything because I wasn't teaching all day and I wasn't up and on the go. So busy is a really good one. Feel, felt, found. If you're not busy, use me as an example. Use anybody else that works a full-time job as an example because busy people are successful people most of the time. Unless you're just a huge procrastinator and don't get things done. But if you care about something, you're going to find a way to get it done. Or you're going to make an excuse and fall off. Let me think of another objection. Another one. I don't want to bug my friends and family. I really like this one because and you can say, I understand how you feel. I felt that way when I first joined too. But what I found is that my friends and my family were my biggest supporters. They wanted to see me succeed and they helped me get my business off to a fast start. They connected me with people in their circle. They had home parties for me. They referred me. They were really the people that were in my corner and helped me be successful. And another thing you can say is, girl, you're not bugging people. Everybody likes to have smell goods. Most everybody fragrances their home, whether it's with Scentsy, whether it's with Glade, whether it's with Walmart candles, Bath and Body Works. Everybody fragrances their home in some way, shape, or form. So feel, felt, found. Another one, I don't have the money to get started. So if someone doesn't have the money to get started, you can use me as an example and say that I had $72 in my bank account for the $49 join special that I think cost me $68, and here I am now surpassing my teaching salary. Was it really maybe a smart decision to spend the last bit of my money? Maybe not, but I did that. And you can say, well, what I found, if you can't afford it, is this one's a great one, and I'm glad I'm doing this video because there's so many options now. Number one, we have the $49 join kit. You can say that what I found is that people that save up to join or don't go out to dinner this weekend have found that they are able to make their money back in the first month if they want to do the $49 join kit. If they have the $99 join kit, you can tell them the same thing. We also have the $59 hosted join kit. They can virtually join for free. for free. So have them have a party and you flip it to them, and you guys know how the host to join thing is. So if they say they don't have money to join, that's when you need to have a party with them. Do not feel like this host to join thing can only be a basket party. I feel like that's what a lot of us have kind of put that into. No, do a freaking home party. Call it their launch party. Even if they haven't joined yet, you go to their party, have them have a great party, let them join for free, and explain to them that they can join for free and they're automatically going to have a paycheck. They're automatically going to have a paycheck. And that's the great thing about if they don't want to do the host to join and they want the bigger kit or whatever, you can tell them, I can help you have a $500 party, because if they have a $500 party, when they get paid, they're going to make $100. So they have already made their investment back. So you can tell them how you can support them to make their investment back. Another thing is you can honestly validate them and say, you know, I understand if you don't have the money or you're really scared. So an objection is, I don't know if I will be successful. I understand why you feel that way. I felt that way too. What I found is that I found success through doing all of these things. And another great thing is, if you decide that since he's not for you, you're not going to lose me as a friend. You're not going to make me upset. I will 100% be your friend and support you in whatever it is you want to do, because I don't want you to do this and feel uncomfortable if you find it's not for you. And you tell them that everything that comes in their kit is consumable. Everything that comes in their kit is consumable. Those catalogs are consumable. If they decide that they don't want to join the business, if they decide that they don't want to join the business and they have these catalogs and order forms, I bet they know somebody they can give them to. Gift them. They could gift them to somebody. Or you could take them, put your label on them, and say, hey, I know that you just decided that this wasn't for you. I would love and I would really appreciate it if you would give these catalogs to the people that you reached out to and refer them to me if they find that that's not something that they want to do. They're testers. They can pop those cubes out and put them in their warmer. Their warmer in their bar, they're using it. So everything that's in their kit can be consumable if they decide that the business is not for them. Now, do you want to just straight up say that? No, but if that is one of their objections, you need to validate it and tell them how they could make it right if they find that it's not for them. I'm trying to think if there's any other objection. The biggest thing with overcoming objections and planting seeds is validating them. Validating them. No one wants to hear that they're wrong. No one wants to hear that the way they feel is invalid. They want to feel like how they're feeling is important and that it's okay to feel that way. And I think a lot of us get caught up with, turn that down please, with wanting to convince someone to join, that we kind of respond with, well, don't feel that way. Don't feel that way. But you want to validate them. Oh, another objection that just popped into my head because Blair just popped on here and I know she heard this one recently. The objection is, so I'm going to use her as an example. I know she doesn't care. She reached out to somebody because they had posted on Facebook that they needed a job or they needed another part-time job. And she reached out to them and said, well, have you ever thought about Scentsy? I would love to have you on my team, and I know it's a way that you could gain some income. And this person responded back with, I meant a real job. And at first I kind of laughed because I 100% understand that. So what you should say is, I understand that you feel that way. I felt that way too, but what I found is that I can surpass my teaching salary, and I know people that have quit their nursing jobs and make $10,000 a month paychecks with this job. This is a real job, and you wouldn't want to come at them like argumentative, but you can explain to them how they can make real money with Scentsy, and how if they go and have a $500 party and it takes them 2 hours, they just made $50 an hour. You're not going to go and get a part-time job and make $50 an hour. Is it necessarily consistent money that you can just go work every Saturday and have a $500 party? Maybe not, but maybe you could. And you're going to get out what you put in. I'm sorry, my child always does this in the mornings. Cincy is a real job if they treat it that way. And if they, it just is. So saying, oh, well, I understand, that's great. Let me tell you how you can make this valuable side hustle income or whatever. So just remember that you can turn all of those negative things that they're saying into positive things. Last thing I'm going to say about this is you want to make it simple, you want to make it fun, and you want to make it effective. So when someone's wanting to join and they're asking questions, you don't have to give them the entire compensation plan and all this tons of info that's going to overwhelm them, because if they get super overwhelmed, they're going to back off and not want to join. So that's why when I'm planting seeds and I'm giving people info, that's why I have that Join the Journey file. I give them that. I tell them to read it over and then come back to me with other questions, because that file answers a lot of questions without making it seem overwhelming. And that way I have a reason to follow up. So if they're asking questions about joining and they want join info, I give them that. And then I tell them, read it over and I'm going to follow up with you. So I always say, let me know if you have any questions, but also say, I'm going to follow up with you to see if you have any questions. That way they know and they're expecting you to follow up with them, so that they don't feel like you're just hustling them to join their team once you give them that info. Tell them you're going to follow up with them so they don't feel like you're like poaching them. And if you do feel like you're poaching them, you're not. You have a reason to follow up when you give people information. That's part of watering your seeds so that the harvest comes. So yes, and then one thing that I also do, if people are asking a ton of questions and it's lots of things that should be answered or that could be answered when they join, such as, well, how do I have a launch party? How do I do all this? Tell them, hey, I don't want to overwhelm you with all that. Let me give you this information. And once you join, as your sponsor, that's my job, to walk you through that and to help you do all those things. And so that way they're not feeling like that. Okay? So I really hope that this was helpful to you. If you have any other objections that you've heard that you kind of want me to give you a feel, felt, found statement for, you can absolutely drop those in the comments and I will do my best to come up with something. But if you just popped on, the big point of this was the feel, felt, found moment, or feel, felt, found way of responding to objections. So you tell them that you understand why they feel that way. You either tell them that you felt that way if you did, or you give them an example of someone that you know that felt that way, because you don't want to lie. You want to empathize with them if you can, or give them an example, turn it down please, of someone that felt that way, and then you tell them what you found as a consultant. Okay? So I love y'all. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any other objections you want to give me ideas, or you want me to respond to, please drop them in the comments. Love y'all. Mean it.